Well, well, well. It is 5:50, 5:50 p.m. Central Standard Time. It is day 28 of the Murdaugh case, and we are seeing that there is, in fact, a verdict in this case. We have sent out alerts. I'm going to send out another one. It came in that it was a verdict after I sent out the first alerts saying could be something, could be nothing. But I literally just finished filming with ABC about Girardi for something for tomorrow. It's wild. It's rare to see a verdict this fast, and I am just absolutely stunned. I have some Waterloo. We're gonna just sit here together and wait for this court to come back in. I barely got to message the mods. It's all right. I trust the law nerds. We're fine. But it's just going to be what it's going to be. So we are waiting for court to come back, and I am looking at reports now. I'm going to go real quick to the reporting to see what's being said on Law and Crime with Anjanette Levy, who's there outside. Emily, get it together. I can't get it together. I'm nerve sighted. I don't know what's happening. It is day 28. A verdict has been reached, and we are here. I actually can't believe it. So, oh, hold on. Let's see. Nope, I don't have this put through my headphones yet. So give me 1 second. Let's go back to the courtroom. Y'all, I don't do breaking news for a reason. It is not my ministry at all. This is not what I do, but we are here. I don't even have my audio. There we go. Now we have audio. So hopefully we'll be able to hear it. We are keeping an eye on the courtroom. We are seeing those outside of court. I can't believe, yes, deep calming breath. Apparently it just makes a panic attack go away with a deep calming breath. We have a verdict. They're definitely not hung. This jury is not hung in the least. This jury's not hung. This jury is not hung. This jury has a verdict. Fast verdicts tend, in my experience, to be guilty verdicts. I know there's a lot of you that want a verdict one way or the other. But guilty verdicts tend to be fast. That said, if it is uncontroverted that he did not do it, Nenji's can be fast too. I am stunned that there's a verdict this fast. I'm absolutely stunned. So, oh, wow. Verdict. Did I even change the title of this stream? I don't know if I did. If I have not swooped your super chat, I am sorry. I will try my best. Miguelina, I'm sorry we were so fast. I appreciate you. We're going to go back and try to grab all of your super chats. But here we are, waiting for court to come back in session with a verdict. I'm going to go to social media real quick. I see from Anjanette Levy on court or Law and Crime said verdict. Let's see. I heard from Avery Wilkes that they hadn't gotten an alert that there was a verdict yet, but now it seems that all the media outlets that I follow are reporting that there is, in fact, a verdict in the Murdaugh case. It does not bode well for Alec Murdaugh. So I see you guys in the chat saying Alec just went into the courthouse. Well, they must have transported him off site, and that would be what they are waiting for. Avery Welks said, I had not eaten dinner. I wish I had. I literally need to text Dr. B and be like, can you just bring me a whiskey? Like, I don't know what's happening. A girl needs a whiskey. So with that, is quickness a reason for appeal? No, it's not. I don't know if I put this on my community tab. I'll go share it. I think I shared it everywhere else. Did you guys get your texts? Hopefully you got your text. I sent out emails. I'm sure the courtroom is going to be packed. Let's see. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for Dr. B to bring the backup. Bring the backup. Avery said, a quick verdict does not bode well for Alec Murdaugh. I did not eat dinner. I wish I had. Same. Same. I was busy filming for tomorrow. So no, quickness is not a reason to appeal. I sent a text, so you should have it. I sent an email, so you should have it. Check your text. I sent a text that went out. It says it went out 7 minutes ago. So if you have the text crew, you should have gotten it. I don't see mine either, sadly. But I'm also seeing that a lot of you replied. So I see a lot of you replied to it. So we will see. And I sent that text before we knew it was a verdict. So some of you might be getting the texts now. The emails have also gone out. So sometimes texts are delayed by carrier. That's one of the reasons we have added the Lawnard alert, because texts can be delayed by carrier. Mine has not come through yet, but it was sent out 7 minutes ago. That we are working on other methods of communication for that exact reason. So for those of you just tuning in, there's almost 20,000 of you here. We have a verdict. We are on verdict watch. We are waiting for the court to come back on our verdict watch. So we're just going to stay right here and wait for court to come back. I'm continuing to monitor on social. I'm going to make sure that I go send this out. So verdict is confirmed at this point, and we'll make sure that we have all of our communications. Emails went out, texts went out. Some of you will get them, and Patreon notifications went out. So with that, I'm just going to fill the air while we sit here. Though I tried, where is my husband? I don't know where where my husband is, but you know, I wonder where he is, because I would love him to bring a drink. So what's happened? For those of you just coming in, we have a verdict. How long were they how long were they out? 3 hours? Less? Chat, how long were they out? I know we clocked it. We clocked when they went out. They went out at what? 3:45? So they're back before 6? Yep. So we're just waiting for this verdict. A verdict has been reached, being reported by multiple outlets that a verdict has been reached, and we are waiting for court to resume. Alec Murdaugh is back in the courthouse, and we will see. So let me update this. Live verdict. Your call has been forwarded to an automated. Why doesn't he answer the phone? It's not like I can ask my teenager to pour me a whiskey. I need these are Dr. B backups that we need. But oh well. Oh, you know what though? I could call my kid and ask him to grab Dr. B. Miguelina said, yeah, they went out at 3:45. I don't do live coverage for a reason. It is not easy. So let me see. Some of you are saying you got your email notification, YouTube notification. I'm going to make sure to share this. Share it with text your friends. I've texted mine. Text your friends. We are now here for a verdict. I should update my thumbnail, but I don't have time. The verdict is in there. We're sending that out on YouTube as well. And hopefully that will help y'all know what it is. Let's see. Why is this not working? Post. Okay, good. All right, let me pop out the chat so I can see y'all. There we go. Our chat is flying as it always does. I don't even know what to do. Literally just finished. Some of you are like, yep, this was absolutely on my bingo card. Some of you are like, this was not on my bingo card at all. We are not back into court yet. So all of the networks are kind of filling time with, well, speculation. I'm seeing that they should be into court within the next 10 minutes. So with that, I'm coming to you live from, my house, and we're going to figure it out. Yahoo News sent out a notification. Fantastic. I sent out notifications. Hopefully you got them on all of your platforms. And let's go real quick. So let's go live What time is it? 6, 7. I don't know if I can do that. Legally, I don't. Let me see. I need to answer a question real quick. Sorry guys, it's a busy one. All right, let's see. What are we going to do tomorrow? We're all going to sleep tomorrow. Court is coming into order. And sorry, y'all, had to send out a real quick text. We'll hear it from Judge Newman himself. He will say, if there is a verdict, he will say, we have a verdict. And then he will bring the jury in to render the verdict.
I understand that there's a verdict. You may bring the jury.
Y'all, I hope you got your text crew notifications. Some of them came in, some of them not. Woo! Oh, good. School just got canceled tomorrow for my kids. That's a delight. Oh, Alec is shaking his head. Hold on. We're going to go to a 3-camera view in this courtroom. Y'all hold your breath. You're welcome to put in the chat what you think it is. I'm not surprised they have security at each entrance. I'm nervous. It's fine to be nervous. If you're just coming in, they've reached a verdict. They have reached a verdict. They've reached a verdict. Put it in the chat what you think it is. Fast verdicts are often guilty. It doesn't mean they can't be not guilty. We've seen some very famous cases where fast verdicts have been not guilty. Remember, there are 4 indictments here. The first indictment, count 1, is the murder of Maggie. Count 2 is the murder of Paul. Count 3 is use of the gun.
Thank you.
To Maggie.
Madam Forley, if you'll stand for me.
Count 4 is use
Have
of the
you
gun
reached
to
the
Paul.
verdict?
Yes, sir, we have.
Is it unanimous?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right, if you will pass it up
And the clerk will
to
read
the
it.
clerk, who will pass it to me,
Oh, the judge will read it. I like that.
and you may be seated.
The judge has to at least review it. That's not true. He might not read it. The judge has to review it. And we have a verdict. The judge is going to review the indictments, which is where they write them, not the verdict forms. He's going to review each one and make sure they're filled out and signed. So that's what is happening right now. So I hope all of you got your text. I don't know why mine didn't come through. That's annoying. All right. Judge Newman's reviewing the verdict forms.
The defendant will rise.
All right.
Madam Clerk, you may publish the verdict starting with the back, not with the, let's see.
And the clerk will read them in.
Again. Starting with the back, flipping them over one by one.
Okay. You guys, take a breath. We sent texts and emails.
Docket number 2022 GS 15-00592, the State of South Carolina, County of Colleton, in the Court of General Sessions in the term of 2022, July, the State versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh, defendant, indictment for murder, SC Code 16-3-0010, CDR Code 0116. Okay.
And read it.
Guilty verdict.
Guilty.
Signed by the forelady, 3/2/23.
Guilty. He's going to be guilty on all 4 then.
Docket number 2022-GS-15-00593, the State of South Carolina, County of Colleton, in the Court of General Sessions, the July term of 2022. The State versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh, defendant. Indictment for murder, SC Code 16-3-0010, CDR Code 0116. Verdict, guilty. Signed by the forelady. Date 3/2 of 23.
Guilty of murdering Maggie. Guilty of murdering
Docket number
Paul. These are now the gun charges that they're getting to.
2022-GS15-00595.
The use
The
of a
State of South
weapon.
Carolina, County of Colleton, Court of General Sessions, July term 2022. The State versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh, defendant. Indictment for possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. SC Code -16-23-0490. CDR Code 0549. Verdict, guilty. Signed by the foreperson of the jury. Date 3/2/23.
He's going to be guilty
Docket
on all
number
counts.
2022-GS-15-00594. The State of South Carolina, County of Colleton.
That's a hard
Court
day
of
for this
General
family.
Sessions, July term 2022. The State versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh, defendant. Indictment for possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. SC Code 16-23-0490. CDR Code 0549. Verdict, guilty. Signed by the foreperson of the jury.
And there it is.
3/2/23.
Alec Murdaugh, guilty on all counts. And that is that. They will set a sentencing date.
Madam Forelady and
This will
members
be
of the jury,
appealed.
if that is the verdict of each and every
gonna
juror,
poll the
please
jury.
let it be known by raising your right hands.
That's polling the jury.
All right, thank you.
Make sure it's
Any
unanimous.
individual polling requested? Madam Clerk, you'll need to individually poll the jury according to their juror numbers.
They are asking the jury to be more formally polled by voice.
3.
You will hear the
Was
jurors
this your
say,
verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Juror 254, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Juror 326.
they do not sound shook at all.
Was this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Very
Yes.
clear.
Juror 530, was this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror 544,
Yes.
was this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Juror 572, was this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Juror 578, was this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Juror 589, was this your verdict? Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Juror 630, was this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Juror 729, was this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Juror 826, was this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it
They are
still your
polling
verdict?
all of the
Juror
jurors.
864, was this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Your Honor, the jury has been polled.
Thank you. The jury has been polled, and the verdict is a unanimous verdict. If you will bring the alternate juror out and have her
They're going to dismiss
have
the
a seat in the
alternate.
audience,
They're
please.
going to set dates. And there we are. No matter what, that is a hard day for Buster, a hard day for Alec, a hard day for their family, and I'm sure a lot of mixed
stand
emotions.
there, or you can sit back there, whatever you prefer. Okay. Are there any post-trial motions?
There's going to be a motion
State, Your Honor.
from the defense.
We would just renew our previously argued motions for a directed verdict, and at this, on the grounds, on those grounds, we would make a motion for a mistrial and to set aside the verdict.
Well, the jury's
By
still
the
sitting
state
there.
response.
Your Honor, based on our previous arguments, we would submit that the case properly went to the jury and the verdict is proper, and would rely on those arguments.
We've been here now 28 days, first few days of jury selection, and the remainder receiving testimony, an overwhelming amount of testimony and evidence that was presented to the jury for the jury's consideration. As I indicated to the jury during the jury charge, or the charge on the law, that this was a matter solely for the jury to determine.
And they have.
The court found at the end of the state's case that there's sufficient evidence to find the defendant guilty if the evidence was believed by the jury. Likewise, at the end of the defense's case, when the motion was renewed, the court found that the evidence was sufficient for the jury to find the defendant guilty. The jury has now considered the evidence for a significant period of time, and the evidence of guilt is overwhelming, and I deny the motion. Mr. Murdaugh, you now having been found guilty of 2 counts of murder involving your wife and your son, 2 counts of possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime.
They're going to revoke any
The
bail.
burden now comes upon
If there
the
is
court
any.
to impose a sentence. Given the lateness of the hour
Wait, they were going to sentence him
and
today?
the victim's rights that must be taken into consideration and complied with under the Victim's Bill of Rights, and consider what I would anticipate to be a number of people who might have something to say regarding sentencing. We will defer sentencing to a later date. Of course,
Yeah, I would
the
think so.
minimum sentence for murder is 30 years. The maximum sentence is life imprisonment. As to each count,
As to
and
each
the-
count, he
on the
could
weapons
get
charge,
60
the sentence is
plus,
up to 5 years
so 70 to life
or
would be
5
the max.
years, which has to be concurrent if a life sentence is imposed.
So 70 years to life.
When would you all like to reconvene for sentencing? I would like to give everyone an adequate opportunity to prepare for it.
State will be ready at 9:30 in the morning, Your Honor.
Jesus Christ, Creighton. They want to sentence him tomorrow morning at 9:30? It's a far
We
cry.
could do it at 9:30 tomorrow morning also.
What?
All right, the defendant is remanded to the custody of the Colleton County Sheriff's
What?
Department.
Okay. Federal cases, they sentence him 7 years after. Oh, okay, well, I guess we'll all be back
And he may be taken away.
here tomorrow morning at 9:30. The jury is still sitting in the room as he is being handcuffed and escorted out of the courtroom, which is not an uncommon procedure. Though in California, they have the defendant waits until the jury exits and is not marched past the jury, which shouldn't be on screen. Sorry, I flipped away. I didn't know if they were going to pan back that way or not.
Madam Forelady and members of the jury, I want to thank you on behalf of the citizens of the state of South Carolina and your fellow citizens of Colleton County.
I'm
You
sorry,
did
this
not
sounds out of sync.
volunteer for this service. You were called upon by being summoned to appear, and Providence have brought you to this
Sorry, I
moment in
wanted to
time,
switch
and
screens.
these weeks in time. I know that all of you have been here at great sacrifice, particularly the juror whose job was on the line until a miracle happened, I guess, that allowed him to be able to leave to stay rather than leave after 2 or 3 weeks. But I want to thank each one of you all individually and collectively. It's not often that you're called upon to sit in judgment of the actions of your fellow man, but you all responded and gave due consideration to the evidence. I will make no comment now as to
He will in sentencing. He will make a lot of comments in
extent
sentencing.
or the overwhelming nature of the
We
evidence.
will hear his thoughts on this in sentencing tomorrow.
But certainly, the verdict that you've reached is supported by the evidence, circumstantial evidence, direct evidence, all of the evidence pointing to only one conclusion. That's the conclusion that you all reached. So I applaud you all for, as a group and as a unit and individually,
I imagine that he gives this
evaluating
speech
the
in
evidence
every
and
single case.
coming
The
to
evidence
proper
points to the verdict that you came to.
conclusion as you see, as you
No, I
saw the
imagine this
law,
judge
as you
gives
saw
this
the
speech
facts.
in every case, regardless of what direction the
Now that
verdict
you've
goes.
served for the next year, you're not eligible to serve again. Now, of course, many people never get called upon, but you're not eligible for the next year, and for 2 additional years, you can be exempted from service because no person is required to serve on jury duty in this court more often than once every 3 years. Tomorrow morning at 9:30, we will reconvene for sentencing. You all have no role in that because that's solely up to the judge.
To the
me.
judge.
You're welcome to come back if you want to and be a part of the audience if you like. I also want to thank the alternate juror who was locked away in a room by herself
That sounds
for these
bad.
hours, who's hung in there during that period of time. I want to thank you as well. Madam Clerk, what do you have to tell your jurors?
You are dismissed.
Service and what the judge said as well. And I think we can release them tonight and bring them back in the morning.
No.
They're off duty.
They're done.
off jury duty. They
They're
can,
off jury duty.
they can come
You
back
can come
if
back
they
you
like.
would like.
And you
Watch
don't
it from
have to
home.
if you don't want to. Typically, I've
You're welcome to join me. I'll be here tomorrow
seen
morning,
jurors
8:25.
wanting to see the end result of a case once they've invested a lot into it. It's really an amazing thing with juries. Quite often, at the start of the case, jurors are really like, whoa, why am I here? I wish I wasn't selected. But as time passes,
We're gonna talk about it once the
and
judge is done talking. Don't
jurors
worry.
become
I got you.
invested and really committed to the case and committed to seeing it through, and are very disappointed when they are not able to see it to a conclusion. And then along the way of serving, you end up finding out quite a bit about our judicial system and learning quite a bit, well, about human nature for sure, but also about the presentation of evidence and hearing from expert witnesses and really learning a lot of things that you'll be able to take with you when you leave jury duty. And to Madam Forelady,
You are dismissed.
I don't know if you were hesitant initially or not, but you have stepped up to the plate and done a great job of leading the jury as well. And thank all of you. So the jury is dismissed. Now, one thing before you go, of course,
He's
we
not done
have
chatting with them.
invested a lot in maintaining the privacy of the jury, of each one of you. And you are free at this point to
talk to the media
discuss
if
the
you
case with anyone. And given the high-profile nature of the case, I'm certain that
They will want to talk to you.
many people in the media will probably
I'm going to switch
want
audio feeds. They're
But they
allowed,
have no means of contacting you.
but they do not have
because
to.
under order that I issued, the identity of the jurors must be kept private. And if you decide that you want to speak with anyone, local, state, nationally, or internationally, that's your prerogative. However, should anyone harass you, please let me know and I will address those issues. If anyone through the somehow or another discover your identity and harass you, and rest assured I will intercede on your behalf. That having been said, you are free to communicate with whomever you might want to concerning the case from now on. And so with that, thank you, and you all are free to go.
Okay.
Yes.
If I could have you go to the jury room, and I'm going to meet you back there for just a few minutes.
All right.
Gather your belongings.
All right, the jury's,
As is my practice, I'll speak with the foreperson before you leave the building after talking to them back there.
it is my experience that when judges speak to the foreperson, they normally ask if there was anything that could have made jury service easier, anything in the court that the court or the court staff could have done to make it more comfortable. And they ask the jurors how to make service less onerous on them and thank them again for their service.
In recess till
Till
9:30 tomorrow
9:30
morning.
tomorrow morning. Sentencing will be at 9:30 tomorrow morning. Much different than the federal system. We can see victim impact statements tomorrow if Maggie's sister or family members want to talk. We can see impact statements from Buster and the family members if they want to talk. This is a hard day all the way around. So many of you in the chat are like, why do I feel sad? Because even with a conviction, it doesn't bring back those that were lost. It doesn't change what has happened. And it is just more devastation, really. The person who the jury found committed these offenses will be locked in prison, likely for the rest of his life. But what does that do to the rest of his family? It is sad. And often the family members of victims of crime don't feel relieved. It feels heavy. And that's because there is nothing that really takes away the harm and the damage that was done. And that is part of the heaviness. It's heavy. Buster's dad will be in prison for the rest of his life. His mom and brother are gone. That's heavy. It changes their family. So, however you felt about this case, the jury has rendered the verdict. The defense reiterated their motions. They were denied. He will be sentenced. There will be an appeal. We will cover the appeal when there is one. There will be one. It is pro forma at this point in high-profile criminal cases and in murder cases that there will absolutely be an appeal. So just know, even if you think he's guilty, even if you think this is the right verdict, the feelings can still be very conflicted, and that is tremendously normal. It is heavy. But the jury believed Blanca and Shelley and Jeannie Seckinger and Annette. And the jury did not believe Alec Murdaugh. Did not. All right, so they're waiting for Murdaugh to come out of the building. He's been handcuffed. We've seen him walk out of the building a million times. We will be back. I will be on Scripps News this evening. We will be back here tomorrow morning before 9:30. I'm going to answer some questions. I know others are streaming. There are plenty of places to chat. I know there will be. I'm not leaving you yet. We're going to answer some questions. So just know that it is what it is. I saw a couple questions in the chat. Emily, you said you wouldn't have filed this case. Still wouldn't. This verdict doesn't change my opinions on whether or not I would have filed this case. I still wouldn't have filed this case. Still wouldn't have. Do I see how the jury reached this result? Yes. Do I see how the jury could have reached a different result? Yes. Do I see how this jury could have been hung? Yes. I said that time and time again. We broke our email again. Don't worry. It has taken some delivery time. We will be talking about that. We will be talking about that. And with the email server, I will, I didn't get my text yet. I know a lot of you did because I've seen the link clicks. Some of you got the text, some of you didn't, depending on phone carrier, which is very, very frustrating. I get it. So with that, the judge has said that this jury found their verdict by the evidence on the record. The statement that he gave at the end seemed to be his regular speech. That's very common with judges, that they have a regular speech that tells the jury, you've reached the verdict based on the evidence presented to you. This is the result that you reached. We will hear the judge's real feelings about this case tomorrow in sentencing. We will hear what the judge has to say about Alec Murdaugh, about these crimes, about the evidence. And that is when the judges will make no bones about it. I have seen judges light into defendants at sentencing. That is not this judge's style at all. But what this judge is going to make clear, I would suspect, is how he feels about the evidence in this case and that it's been proven. He will make clear to Alec that he agrees, I think, with this verdict. And that will be an interesting thing to see. So he will be sentenced tomorrow. I imagine he'll be sentenced somewhere between, well, depending on how South Carolina does it, either 70 years to life or just to life, or to life plus 70. So he's going to be sentenced tomorrow. Look, there's no sentencing memorandums to file. There's nothing to argue. The crime for the murder of Maggie carries 30 years to life. For Paul, it carries 30 years to life. For the guns, it carries 5 years each to life consecutively, so added together. So the max he's facing is 70 to life. But 70 means you have to serve that time or the appropriate portion of that time before you're up for parole. Alec Murdaugh is in his 50s and he is still facing life sentences on others. They could just give him a life sentence and we'll see that. And that's what's going to happen tomorrow. So with all of that, I'm looking at the chat. Avery Wilkes is saying, it jumped. I was looking at it. I'm sure they're going to ask the jurors if they want to talk. We will probably see the jurors. Speaking if they want to. No, I can't say we will probably. If the jurors want to speak, they are able to. If the jurors don't want to speak, they won't. They have the option to do that or to not do that. So to the 40,000 of you here, I am going to be reading the verdict or reading the super chats. And let me send this back. Sorry, I need to get the link for news this evening. Okay, so we are going to do that. Judge said concurrent as to the gun charges. Oh, he did say concurrent for the gun charges if they get life. So we'll see, but we'll hear the judge's opinion tomorrow. All the things I rescheduled till tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., I need to schedule again. Oh, and we binged. Thank you. Look at us at 705,000 up here like real YouTubers. We binged. Oh, it binged. Move your head. Ah! I was chewing ice. I'm sorry. It's rude to chew into the microphone. I thought it binged last longer. I'm tired. My brain is tired. My butt is tired of sitting. I am tired. Aren't you tired? Are we not tired? I am tired. The mods are tired. We are all tired. Okay, let's get through some super chats. I appreciate you. And then here's what I'm going to do tonight. My kid is at a school event. I'm going to be on Scripps News. I'm probably going to do a reel for Instagram. I feel like I should do that right now and just share it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to do a reel for Instagram. I'm going to have a glass of whiskey. I'm going to take a bath. I'm going to go to sleep, and I'm going to be back with you in the morning for the sentencing of Alec Murdaugh. I have to change my thumbnail at some point. Kathy, I appreciate you and have been following you for about 2 years now. My coworker and I look forward to you. So thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. I want to see what's going on. Hold on. What is going on outside of court? I'm wondering if they are looking to talk to the jurors. Hold on. We're going to go back to cameras that are outside of court. Give me 1 second. Look, this is why news shows have like 1,700 producers. We've got me and Miguelina and the mods. We've got it. We've got it. Who needs 1,700 producers? We've got it. I just want to see if Chanley is talking to anyone outside, but I couldn't find Court TV. There it is. Nope, it looks like not. So I'm going to keep an eye on what's going on the different feeds so that we can cover it. This is what those storm channels must be like. How hard is it to cover all the different things? Hard, I would imagine. But okay. If they talk to the jurors, we will go there to take a look at it. So that was fast. All of you that thought you were going to eat dinner, I'm sorry. This definitely interrupted the evening. Lawner, Debbie, thank you so much. I was recording. Who was I forget. Chris, what was I recording for? Let's see. Where was I today? I was recording with ABC for, what was I recording for? Nightline something. I forget. It was lovely. They were great, but I think it was for Nightline. I don't remember which ABC show it was, but that's for Girardi and that's for tomorrow. So I was ready for that. Guilty or not guilty, you all have been a pleasure to hang out with the last forever. This chat is incredible and it's been incredible. You were always so cute and camera ready. I'm not. I assure you that I'm not. Today was just a day and I had to be, but not most days. There are definitely days. This is why we don't stream every single day. There are definitely days I need to not be camera ready. So with that, let me go back to our super chats. Thank you. I knew it was going to be today. I really didn't. I was very caught off guard that they came back with a verdict so fast. I was really surprised that they came back so fast. But I'm always happy to be caught off guard. You never know. Always happy to be caught off guard. I'm very surprised. This is wild. Same. I thought sometime tomorrow before the end of the day. I haven't even finished replay of the closing. Fair. You were amazing this whole trial. Well, Simi, thank you. You guys were amazing. Law nerds. I wouldn't want to spend a trial with anybody else. You guys are absolutely the best. And I know that the chat is still hung. I get it. I know that the chat is still hung. I thought they'd deliberate a week and be hung. I told you the thing I'd be least surprised by. Earlier today, I said my order of least surprise. Oh, it looks like they're setting up for a press conference. So we might hear from the attorneys in this case. I said my order of least surprise is hung, guilty, not guilty. That was my order, descending priorities on surprise. All right, I'm going to go see if any of the other channels have switched, but it looks like they are ready for a presser. Who will take the presser? I don't know, but we see microphones from News Nation, from Law and Crime, and Court TV, 19W, what have you, WLXT, WLTS. Let me pull up their feed. And it looks like we have the local media there with their microphones ready for a press conference. So we're going to go to those as well. So let me find, Miguelina, do you mind grabbing the 19? I don't know why I don't see it, but I'm not seeing it on my live feed. If you don't mind grabbing it for me, you know which one I'm talking about, and I appreciate you. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like they're setting up for a presser. So we'll grab that. Thank you, Miguelina. If you don't mind grabbing that feed, I appreciate it. So it looks like all of the outlets have their microphones up on the podium. And we will go there when they come out to do that. So drinks on me. Thank you so much for being live throughout this trial. You're welcome. I picked live trial coverage the best I can so that we can balance what the chat is interested in, what we're all interested in, and a time commitment that I can make. When I thought this was a 3-week trial, I was super excited. And then 6 weeks later, here we are. And that makes sense. So let's see. Everybody's got talking heads real quick. I get to be my own talking head, but I'm waiting for this press conference, and I appreciate Long Crimes Feed showing that they're waiting for the press conference too. That pit in your stomach feeling is what lawyers feel too. When you are waiting for your own verdict, I would sit at counsel table, literally with my head down, not even looking at the judge, just breathing, waiting to hear what the verdicts were. Because I didn't want to do anything. Though there were some times that juries would send out a note. I had one trial where the jury sent out a note, and the note was, can we please be escorted out of the building by the sheriffs after the verdicts are read? And with that note, I was like, oh, yeah, that's probably a guilty verdict. I don't know why else they would be concerned. By the books, I haven't been following anybody else's coverage. Retired RN said, take a deep breath, everyone. Casey Cat said, did you see Daily Mail proved Moselle was staged? They posted pics taken 2 weeks ago and yesterday. No, but I'll go look. Thoughts on OJ? Are we guilty of Murdaugh? Well, the jury found Murdaugh guilty. Thoughts on OJ? I gave kind of my thoughts on the trainings that we did on that case earlier. Oh, but are we talking about OJ's statement? I thought it was an odd thing to throw your hat in the ring on. I thought it was odd to throw your hat in the ring on this for OJ Simpson. Drinking from the bottle kind of night. It's all the nerves, right? I was catching up on the live streams from earlier, and then the verdict is ready already. Well, shoot, I'm here now. Yep. Me, all of us. That's how all of us are right now. Let me see. I want to make sure I can monitor both live chats. Can't believe they don't have any questions. Same. They asked for a monitor and that was it. Question. Do we know if the juror that was yeeted this morning thought Alec Murdaugh was guilty or innocent? No. If that juror comes forward and speaks, we will hear more. Court TV is saying South Carolina usually has quick verdicts in cases. They have people that work in these courts that know them. And so their judgment on it is much better than mine. Officially upgraded to verdict warning instead of watch. Virginia, yes, it was. It was officially a verdict warning. Holy shit, this is faster than Daryl Brooks. Yes. I bet that when Metters called Putin an automatic smoke screen, there was an associated acronym used in the past. I never even thought about it. Justin B. Here's the thing. That's hilarious. I didn't even catch that it's ASS. Automatic smoke screen. That is absolutely delightful. That was pretty funny. That was pretty funny earlier when he said, I've had cases with Dick Harpootlian before and we called him the automatic smoke screen. I can't unsee it now, and I really appreciate it. So we are seeing a lineup for the presser. Hold on. It looks like are they doing audio checks for the presser?
And my son just went to sleep and I'm missing it because we're doing this. But
it looks like they're doing audio checks for the presser. I need to know how to get that perfect bun on the fly. Hairspray and bobby pins today. Just signed up for text today and it came through, as did YouTube. Thanks for guiding us. You're welcome. Is this good news or bad news? Well, the verdict's in now, so it just depends on what you thought this verdict was going to be. Emily, what are we going to do tomorrow? Sentencing at 9:30 a.m. Got the text. Huge thanks. You are welcome. Glad you did. I've poured a wine. It's midnight here. Get your teenager to bring the old smoky. I don't know what they're they're trying to add a mic holder to the stand. And there is still you can see in the shot from Court TV. You could see in the shot from Court TV behind where Chanley set up that there was a huge amount of people waiting for this presser from the lawyers. So we're going to be here through that. I hope that we will see that soon, but I don't know. It looked like they were updating the little holder thing that you put all the microphones in. That's what it looks like they're doing, is sorting out the holders. So I definitely didn't have my team bring me. They were on their way out. Midnight here in the UK, been on global jury duty. I mean, it's been a long one. Amy Yost, 3 hours and 25 minutes for deliberation. I think is too short of a time. Either the jurors were a definite G or NG here. They clearly were pretty close to it and answered a few questions, and that was it. That was absolutely it. Talia said, I can't wait to I can't wait to not live here anymore. Tomorrow, y'all, we get to move tomorrow. We get to move tomorrow. Let's see. I'm going to pull this up a little bit. They are getting the presser ready. I thought hung. I don't know. If it was hung, they definitely wouldn't have come back tonight. They would have left. Maybe that's why they said they didn't need dinner. Because they were like, nah, we're getting out of here. We are getting out of here, and we are getting out of here now. So I think that's what they did. Thank you, Miguelina, our incredible producer here, has found us a feed as we are waiting for the presser that has a fantastic angle.
Testing one, check.
Sounds great, my guy. So I thought we'd be here tomorrow. I've got chills. Thank you. Kathy said justice prevails. Riley said my first ever live with you, and what a one. Oh, today was the one. Buffy Lynn said he ain't crying now. He definitely wasn't. Alec did not have a lot of emotions. I think that, well, from my experience, that is fairly common that we don't see a ton of emotions in moments like that. I hope someone is going to protect Buster, 25 or not. I think with his uncles, you have to hope that his family still has his back. He's got two uncles and an aunt on his
Testing
dad's
1, 2,
side,
check.
aunts and uncles on his mom's, or his aunt on his mom's side.
Yeah.
It's a lot of microphones.
Yep.
Has a jury ever changed their verdict when
This
polled?
one isn't working? All right.
I don't know if
check.
they've changed their verdict, but I've definitely seen jurors go, oh, wait, that's not what I meant to say. Not in many of my cases, but yes, it happens when a jury's polled that they're like, wait, I thought I voted. That's not what I thought I did. So more of a confusion thing. Kirsten, yes, but that's
Testing
a
1,
standard
2,
practice.
testing 1, checking 1, 2.
I'm
Is
going to
it
go
working?
through the questions as we can. I will pull up the rest of these while we are doing the press conference. Bubba is a hero, and we absolutely heard Metters saying today in rebuttal. I'm going to just turn this down a little while we're waiting. We absolutely heard Metters say that in rebuttal.
Testing 1, checking 1, 2, 3.
It sounds great, dude. What Metters said when he scared the shit out of me and knocked me out of my seat was, if it weren't for Bubba catching a chicken, would we have ever heard Alec on that video? Would we have ever heard Alec say, Bubba, it's a chicken? Because you heard him responding to Bubba. Would you have ever heard Alec on that video? Would he have been talking at that time if Bubba wasn't running around with a chicken in his mouth? Or would it have just been a video of Cash? Like, the amount of circumstances that had to happen to catch him in that video in seconds, minutes before these murders, is really because he was talking to the dog. So I don't feel like he was yelling at Bubba. I thought he was like, Bubba, that darn dog. Like, what's he up to now? That's how I took it when I heard it on the audio. Metters yelled it like in an angry way. It was like, Bubba, fell off my chair. But I heard, oh, Bubba. That's kind of what I heard in the Bubba. Chrissy said, I just got here and finished unpacking. Time to move already. Yes, tomorrow. Tomorrow. We don't live here anymore after tomorrow. Don't worry. We'll find somewhere else. Buster didn't seem surprised. I think shock, but I don't know. Question, are you surprised at how fast it was? Yes, very. Yes, very. But again, this isn't my jurisdiction. This was a quick verdict. And we are waiting for a press conference, presumably from the lawyers. Was this verdict in line with your opinion? Thank you, Emily, for your coverage. This case has been hard for me from the beginning. I can see both sides very clearly. And for me, that generally leans towards doubt. I can see how the jury got here. But if the jury had come back not guilty, I would have said the exact same thing. I can see how the jury got here. I can see it both. And for me, when I can see it both, that means one side hasn't been proven so clearly. But again, I can see how they got there. I think at the end, if the jury doesn't believe Alec, his testimony pushed this to a place where the jury could find him guilty more easily. Truly. Yes, I will watch Netflix after this. Probably not tonight. In the middle of watching closing on my way home from work, and my BF calls and says, I just saw there's a verdict. Oh my God, bye, gotta go. Tuned in just in time. Thank you, Brittany. Glad you're here. Emily, do you teach live streaming? No, I talk about it sometimes on other channels, but no, I talk about it sometimes on other channels. Very upset they showed the jury on the live stream. I clicked away as fast as I could, but as they were following Alec out of the courtroom, the jury was still sitting there. I imagine, though, that a lot of this jury will choose to talk to the media, and it will be a moot point, I imagine. Their identifying information hasn't been released. And again, they weren't to be filmed. I don't like it either. I got away as quick as I could from that. So glad I found you, Emily, to walk through this with you in the group. Oh yes, the Law Nerds are the best community on the internet. They named them. We named the Law Nerd community the Law Nerd community. What, 2 years ago? When we were all just like, what are we over here in this place? And I'm so glad that we did, because we like the law. We're generally nerds. We love it here. We live here. We have our inside jokes. We can be irreverent at times. But it is. Show the jury on all the national TV stations, because it's the one camera that everybody was streaming. I'm glad we were able to get to the other feed and get out of that. I hope Bubba gets all the treats tonight. I think that he will. Props to Cash too. His injury brought the video. Yep. Injury or lack thereof. Well, that's a boom. The man's like, boom, boom, chicka, boom, boom. Look at that boom. It's huge. Question: where will we live now? Oh, don't worry, we'll find somewhere. We're gonna have to go back to Idaho soon. There's a lot going on there. We have so much going on in Girardi. Back to California for a little bit. He planned it for a long time, but Bubba was a variable he couldn't control. It's a very fair point, Kathy. And when they gave the jury instruction about hate in their heart, Alex said on the stand, whoever did this had hate in their heart for Paul. The jury might have thought he was talking about himself, and they get to make that decision. Whoever did this had hate in their heart. He gets to make that decision. So that's wild. All right, let's keep going. What am I going to do with my life now? Don't worry. We'll be live tomorrow. Bubba the pickle puppy for the pickle name. I don't know what we'll name the pickle. Whose head is in the way of the Bing counter? My husband's. The move your head is my husband. If appeal is successful, is that a new trial or an overturned verdict? Amy, it is exceedingly rare that it overturns the verdict with no retrial. It is generally a retrial. So if there is an appeal, which there will be, and they find issues, the court finds issues, then they have to decide if those issues are reversible error or if they are not reversible error. So the appeals court can find error and say, yes, but it's not to a material matter. So it's not reversible error. So we're not sending it back. Often it gets sent back for a retrial. That is the most common oh, Jesus. Watch the cords. Don't forget the other dog who hurt his tail. Yes, we talked about Cash. Will they go forward with other charges? I imagine after this, they will figure out what they want to do on did my lip gloss smear? Thank you, chat. I'm sure it did. We live here now. I don't think I've eaten since lunch, and I'm not surprised. Thank you, Miguelita. Are we a mess? Yep. Of course we are. I forgot what I was saying because I'm a mess, but that's okay. Where are we moving to? I think we have to go to Idaho, then California. If Alec comes out tomorrow and says he's sorry for doing this, can they still appeal? Yes, they can still appeal court errors. But if he confesses, I don't think that he would. Miller Time says starting up my RV. Anybody have jumper cables? What was I going to say? Reversible and non-reversible error. They can find error, an error that you don't overturn a case for. So if we get to an appeal, which we will see what happens. But yes, they will still go forward on the financial crimes. I think that they should, because if there is an issue of appeal, they need to go forward on the financial crimes, because then even if something is overturned on appeal, they still have him in custody, and then they can decide about whether or not to retry the case. Because if you already have him in custody and you already have him for life on all the financial crimes and it gets overturned on appeal on an issue, why retry it? They've gotten what they want. A jury said guilty.
7,
They don't need any more time.
9, 10.
So I think they would go to another one. I think they would just leave him in on the financial crimes and not redo it. That's what I think they would do. But you never know. There's lots of things I can't predict. I wouldn't have filed this case, so that's what you get. Was thinking not guilty the whole time, but the closing made me feel that my reasonable doubt wasn't actually reasonable. Good job, prosecution. Maggie, thank you for the super chat. Aaron said, question, I definitely learned a lot about Southern courtrooms. Is that a question? I'm teasing. We learned a lot. I don't know how typical it is. This is the first case we've watched in this judicial district in South Carolina, but a lot happened in this courtroom. What if Eddie were to come out and say he did it with Alec? He would probably be charged, but if he did it with Alec, it doesn't mean Alec didn't do it. Time to name the pickle. We're going to have to put up a poll for naming the pickle tomorrow. Without the kennel video, do you think he'd be found guilty? Without the kennel video, I don't think they would have charged it. The kennel video came to light in April 2022. They went to the grand jury in July. So no, I think without the kennel, this case never gets brought. Because the lie on the time is really the biggest piece of evidence in this case for them. So I think I'm most surprised by Metters speaking at the one juror, yet it doesn't seem they had much doubt. Anyway, not enough to deliberate. Or Metters was talking to the alternate, I don't know. Miss Opinion, hello. I have the Real Housewife of Potomac lawsuits on my radar. JB, thank you so much for the super chat. Snowcone said, I love how you explain law. I was talking with some friends about the case. I mentioned jury instructions and they were confused. Felt smart. Good. That's what we're here for. We're here so you can impress your friends. Don't just just be like, what? I know things. Just take full credit for all of it. Alexandria Wood, Emily from a Virginia attorney. You are amazing. Love your content. Thank you very much. This is a lot. Klotsu, I need an emotional detox after this trial. All of us are taking baths tonight. I mean, not together. It's not large enough, but yes, all of us are taking baths tonight. Roller coaster emotions. I believe guilty, but sad. Sad is normal. There's no, in all of these cases, and that's the thing that is interesting to learn as a DA. Even when there is justice, even when you feel like there's been justice, even when you feel like the verdict is the right result and justice has been done, it doesn't remove the feelings. It doesn't remove the heaviness, the loss. And this case in particular, what this jury said today is horrific. What this jury told the world is that Alec Murdaugh, based on the evidence that they saw in court, brutally murdered his wife and son when the world was falling apart. That's what they told the world. That's horrifically sad. It is very heavy. And nothing really takes that emotion away from it. The jury has had to see all of those photos. His other son, his remaining son, has had to sit through this entire trial and hear about all of it. The lies, the deception, the legacy that is destroyed, and the fact that his dad shit his pants. I mean, that was in this case too. All of it. A legacy is destroyed. A law firm destroyed. I think a local legal community destroyed. Other families destroyed. The families of Stephen Smith, the families of Mallory Beach, Gloria Satterfield's family. There's so much, there's wakes and ripples of devastation connected to this family. And that's why it doesn't feel like a weight's lifted, because it's still fucking heavy and sad and devastating. Even when there's a guilty verdict, it still feels heavy and sad. Because Mallory Beach's case, Paul was killed. Mallory Beach's case isn't going to be done. The civil case settled with Maggie's estate and with Buster, but it doesn't bring Mallory Beach back to her parents. Stephen Smith's case hasn't been solved yet. It's been reopened, so at least people are looking. But now that we see that the coroner judges time of death by putting his fingers in people's armpits, I'm not surprised that the coroner ruled Stephen Smith's death a hit and run when there was no evidence of that. Just not shocked. You saw how hurt Ronnie Crosby was, Chris Wilson was, and the other members of the law firm. You saw the pain for John Marvin Murdaugh and for Maggie's sister. This was 6 weeks of a destroyed legacy and the pain that it caused. And so I'm not surprised that so many of you feel heavy and sad, because it is. I don't know what these attorneys are going to say. I'm going to go back to making poop jokes in a minute because it's heavy for me too. We're just going to, what time do I have to bounce? Soon. We need this presser to go because I got some things to do. But all right, look, I'm done talking about the emotional hard stuff. We're gonna cleanse our aura. We're gonna fluff our aura and we're gonna answer some more super chats. We're just going to look and we're gonna get to hear what the judge thinks of this case tomorrow. Look, we fluffed our aura. Look, John Marvin talked about his brother shitting his pants in this trial. Like, let us just remember that happened too. All right. I don't know if these attorneys are going to come out or not. EDB, do you feel Jim handed the jury the guilty verdict, or was it because of the prosecution's closing and rebuttal? I think the key factor in this guilty verdict was Alec testifying. I think the video at the kennels was their strong piece of evidence. I think the timeline, the means and opportunity were that no one else was up at these kennels. The jury can find, based on this evidence, that these were family weapons. Who else? Who else? He was there moments before. And I think the state's argument that Paul, in the middle of texting Rogan and in the middle of texting his other friend, who else is he? Why would he stop texting? It's reasonable that the time of death is what the state said because he stopped texting. Is it beyond all probability? No. But is that what this jury had to find? Also, no. The jury can find that that's the time of death, that Alec was right there, that those are family guns that are missing, that the clothes are missing. They can determine all of that. I think that the person who did the most damage to this case was Alec Murdaugh. Love watching your coverage. I'm going to miss it. Don't worry. I stream at least twice a week. Jennifer Foster said, wow, I'm actually speechless. They came back so fast. I was not expecting that. I didn't think I would feel bad at all because I believe he did it, but I feel a deep sadness for him, friends, and family. Yes. For all of them, his former law partners. His former law partners loved his family, loved his kids. It's clear how much they loved his kids. The wake of devastation in this is not just limited to Alec himself. There is a lot of devastation here. And if they don't start this press conference soon, man, I'll tell you what. All right. Truly tragic unraveling of a family dynasty. Thanks for the coverage. You're welcome. And I wonder what the people of South Carolina feel. And I think we'll see that in the days to come. Is this family dynasty one they wanted to see unravel? I think that's a very real question. Melanie said, I absolutely love your breakdown of info and will never give you up. I will never let you go. Oh, the lawyers are coming. The lawyers are coming. The lawyers are coming. This is not a drill. This is not a drill. Here comes the Attorney General of the state of South Carolina. I see him on one feed. I don't see him on the other feed. Why is this feed a little bit behind? All right, here we go. Here we go. Why does this sound so terrible? Oh, that was me. User error. That's why. Emily, you're a dumbass. That's why. All right, here we go. Whoa, that's a big prosecution team.
Y'all be patient. There's a lot of us coming out.
Is this your entire office?
How are we
Oh,
on mic
and
check?
SLED. They did 7
Thumbs up,
mic
thank you.
checks.
We got our team out here.
The South Carolina attorney
Wow.
is taking the stand.
What a great day for the people of South Carolina. I want to thank every one of you for being here tonight. There's a lot of emotion here tonight at this courthouse. A lot of a year and a half, nearly 2 years of blood, sweat, and tears, it feels like. A lot of hard work from so many people. So if you will just bear with me, there's there's a lot of people I have to thank. But first, those of you who don't know, I'm Alan Wilson. I'm South Carolina's Attorney General, and I got the best staff of any Attorney General in the United States of America. I want to start by thanking our prosecution team. I want to tell you, I've been here for
There's
nearly 6
celebration
weeks
here.
with this team, living in a hotel, and
Wow.
it felt almost like being in a dorm environment in college. Late nights, cramming, studying, little sleep,
How much
away
beer
from our
was
families,
involved if
getting
it's
up
a
early,
dorm?
getting here to the courthouse, working long hours, getting on each other's nerves at times, but it was all worth it. It was all worth it because we got to bring justice and be a voice for Maggie and Paul Murdaugh and bring justice for the people of South Carolina. I'd like to start real briefly by thanking our team. First, excuse me, I need to put my glasses on. Our chief prosecutor, I tell you, I appointed Creighton Waters to be the chief prosecutor of this case nearly a year and a half ago. And I want to say I'm pretty brilliant because I picked the right guy. And I want to say thank you to Creighton Waters. Creighton, you did a fantastic
Okay.
job. I don't think there's another attorney in the state of South Carolina that could have led this Herculean effort. But Creighton will be the first to tell you he didn't do it alone because he had a team of people. I want to first thank Don Zelinka, who is actually Creighton's boss. He is the Deputy Attorney General, been in the Attorney General's office for over 40 years, sitting here to my immediate left. Don Zelinka, thank you so much. John Metters, many of you got to see him do the closing argument today. John, thank you. You've been a phenomenal add to our team. I'm going to go quickly through the
John
names,
was brought on
as I
just for
read the
this
names,
trial.
please raise your hand. You know Creighton, you saw Don, and you see John. David Fernandez, John Conrad, Johnny James,
Holy shit, that's a lot of
Savannah
people.
Gowd, Ozzie Toledo, Shane Acito, Carly Jewell, Carson Burney, Danielle Colon, and our victims advocate, Tricia Allen. I also want to say thank you to the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division. Mark Keel assigned some amazing men and women. And when I say it was an agency-wide effort on behalf of SLED, I can't underscore that part enough. Every time I called Chief Keel, every time I reached out to the lead agents, every time Creighton was asking me, hey, General, we need something from SLED, we would reach out to SLED, and they were there. They busted their butts. I can't begin to list every agent, and some can't be listed for obvious reasons. Some are standing up here tonight. I told them I wasn't going to mention their names, but we would not be here if it wasn't for SLED. And I want to thank Mark Keel and his team and all of the men and women across the entire state law enforcement division for what they did to make tonight a possibility. Amen. I also want to thank the FBI and the Secret Service, our federal partners. We had to utilize many of their assets and resources. We couldn't do all the things that we did without our federal partners. We had a lot of local partners. We had the Colleton County Sheriff's Department, Buddy Hill, Sheriff Hill and his team, providing the security. They did a phenomenal job, and they were there. They were the first responders the night on June 7, 2021, when Maggie and Paul were butchered brutally. They were the first responders, and they were the first ones to be there. The Charleston County Sheriff's Office, the Orangeburg County Sheriff's Office were instrumental in supporting our investigative efforts. You all know Kenny Kinsey, our chief crime scene expert, was with the Orangeburg Sheriff's Office. I also want to thank the city of Walterboro. I think the mayor is here somewhere, and the police department. They provided security. Thank you. This whole community has embraced our entire team, and I cannot thank you enough. We've all been away from our families, 2 hours away from our families for the past 2 months. And it's this community that made us, we would walk into restaurants and people would come up and thank us. You know, you don't have any idea how good that makes people feel when they're under an incredible amount of stress, an incredible amount of scrutiny, and this community really embraced us. I want to thank the Colleton County Clerk of Court, Becky Hill, and her entire team and
I'm
their
putting this
staff.
to you.
I don't know.
I'm going to leave the press conference on for y'all. I've got to go.
I call her
And then I
Becky
will come
Booth.
back.
That's her nickname. But Madam Clerk,
I
wherever
need to
you
go
are
do a
tonight,
real quick on scripts, and then I will come back and finish up with questions. So I'm going to switch feeds
I'm
real
sorry.
quick.
That's my pet name for her.
Oh my goodness, there are
But I
people
want to thank you, Madam Clerk,
upstairs.
for you, the entire team, the bailiffs, the court security, the staff here.
wild.
There was no
We're
role
gonna
that was too
keep
small
the
that they
feed
weren't willing to
going.
do for us.
I'm gonna take
The
a
security
brief
team here,
break,
it
and
was
then
a
I will be
Herculean
back.
effort by everybody, and I can't thank enough people.
So once we get the other feed up, I will switch.
I don't know if I mentioned the bailiffs.
This is a
but I want to thank
very
them. And there's another group of people
typical
who you
press
don't know who
conference after
they
such a
are.
high-profile
But that's the
case.
jurors. And not
it's
just the
just-
jurors, but the alternates, the ones who didn't even
I
get to
don't know.
serve to the
It's
very
odd.
end, but people who were taken away
I'm not
from
leaving
their
you totally
families.
unsupervised.
I
I'm
want to
over
thank the
here.
families of our jurors who sat here every single day for what seemed like long amounts of tedious, monotonous information and evidence. Sometimes people didn't know what it meant. They didn't understand. Sometimes people didn't know what it meant. They didn't understand it. And they had to sit there and process and hear it over and over again. And I want to thank these nameless jurors whose identities have been protected. They made their identities available to all of you at some point, but they sat there and they delivered justice tonight. And I want to thank them for their role in this process. You know, Winston Churchill said, democracy is the worst form of government except for every other kind. I kind of want to adopt that and say, we may not have the worst criminal justice system in the world, but it's better than every other kind that there is. And our criminal justice system worked tonight. It gave a voice to Maggie and Paul Murdaugh, who were brutally mowed down and murdered on the night of June 7th, 2021 by someone that they loved and someone that they trusted. And they couldn't be here to testify for themselves tonight. Their testimony came through the evidence and the information that was gathered by the men and women of the agencies I've just mentioned. It came from the testimony of the agents and the investigators and the attorneys and the folks in our staff who were able to get it to the court record. And so I want to say tonight, their voice was heard tonight and justice was brought for them. We can't bring them back, but we can bring them justice. I started off my remarks by saying that it is a good day in South Carolina.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Today's verdict proves that no one, no matter who you are in society, is above the law. A lot of people doubted that this process would work, and hopefully, for those who did doubt the process, hopefully we have instilled and put a little bit of faith back into you and your lives as you view this process as it unfolds. I'm proud of this team. I'm proud of the men and women standing behind me tonight. And there's been a lot of emotion. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I saw firsthand for the last 5 or 6 weeks the countless nights where you were up beyond midnight and you were getting up before dawn, not eating. I was watching Nancy Grace the other night and I heard her call Creighton pale and gaunt because Creighton wasn't eating and sleeping. He really wasn't, folks. I'm serious. So, you know, we would have to bring you in kind bars and things to eat during breaks. But Creighton, Herculean effort, my friend. And I am truly honored to have you on our team. Thank you for being a great leader and a great chief prosecutor. And I would like to invite you to come up here and make some remarks for the folks here tonight.
Thanks, everybody. And I want to start by thanking this guy who's given me and all these folks behind us opportunities to do justice, which is what we want to do with our careers. It is very tough and demanding, but it's rewarding for moments like these. The general stole a lot of my lines, but I also want to thank the jurors for their long and arduous service. And we had no doubt that if we had a chance to present our case in a court of law, that they would see through the one last con that Alec Murdaugh was trying to pull. And they did, and we're so grateful for that. I get to lead the state grand jury section in the Attorney General's office. This particular case is not a state grand jury case. There are other indictments that are state grand jury. But the one thing about that is that I have an amazing team. And I want to be clear, this was a team effort. Y'all saw all of these folks behind me doing amazing work. And I can't be prouder of a team in my life. We called this our Super Bowl, and not because of the media attention, but just because of the effort that we knew that we would have to put into this. And we didn't really get to watch much of the Super Bowl that went on because when we arrived, I think it was winter and it feels like spring now. But every single member of this team, every single member of the state grand jury staff, what we do well is work together as a team in complex investigations. And who we work with is my partners at SLED. And I can't thank them enough as well, because we're used to working on these complex cases and working together. And I'm not leaving out Sheriff Hill and the Colleton County Sheriff's Office and our federal partners in Orangeburg and Charleston Sheriff's Office and all the other agencies that have worked on this case. I also want to thank Ms. Becky, if she's still up there, because she's been amazing. The clerk staff has been amazing. The court staff has been amazing. The bailiffs have been amazing. And again, I also want to thank this community who really has embraced us and has been so great to us and made us able to survive this process that has been long and arduous. And I have been sleeping. I hadn't been. And I have been eating more than Kind bars every now and then. But, and I'm sure that's a nice plug for Kind. But anyway, it really has been a great process. We will have sentencing tomorrow. Obviously, we're not going to comment on sentencing because that's still pending. But justice was done today. It doesn't matter who your family is. It doesn't matter how much money you have or people think you have. It doesn't matter what you think, how prominent you are. If you do wrong, if you break the law, if you murder, then justice will be done in South Carolina. And I think South Carolina has shown to the nation and the world how a process can work and work well. Thank y'all.
And also, I want to thank Creighton. I told Creighton, I said, Creighton, I'm going to come down and I'm going to be just a staff attorney. I know I'm your boss. I'm your boss's boss's boss, but I said I'm going to come down and I'm going to help. And I said I'm going to follow instruction. And I hope I was true to my word. This past weekend, I was saying, what can I do to help? I said I'm willing to take a witness if it'll help. He said actually it would. So he let an old prosecutor dust off his cleats and get back in the game and to help the team out. And
I got to be the boss of the boss for a while.
Yeah, don't get used to it.
I'm not used to it.
No, but in all seriousness, I'm proud of the decisions that I made in putting the people behind me and to the left and right of me in charge of this case. And I was honored to be part of this team. Just another member, just another worker bee in the trenches trying to bring justice to the people of this state and to bring justice to the people who couldn't be here tonight because they were brutally murdered by someone they trusted. Now, with that being said, I know a lot of people want to talk to us. A lot of people want to talk to some of the attorneys and the support staff and the agents, investigators here tonight. Some of you want to talk to me and others. We're going to make ourselves available to you. But like Mr. Waters just said, tomorrow there's a sentencing hearing, and we don't want to get out in front of our skis. And plus, I'm starting to feel the rain come down. But I promise you, we're going to make ourselves available to talk to members of the media, to talk to all of you out there that have questions. We'll answer any questions that we ethically can. We hope you'll continue to be patient with us as we finish this process tomorrow. Again, we're going to go back and get a good night sleep tonight. But again, thank you. I'm going to also, one last group that we didn't thank, the media. You all, I know a lot of people in this polarizing world we live in, a lot of people take shots at the media, but the media was incredibly respectful. You were so good, not just to us, but listen, to the families of the victims, okay? I know this is an awkward situation, but, you protected the identities of people and, you protected the process. And I want to thank you for your part in this and telling the stories, educating the public on what's going on out there. So now I'm going to stop speaking as an attorney general, and I'm going to close as a father and as a husband to say that when you go home tonight, hug your loved ones, hug your spouse, hug your children, because this case, if it reminds us of anything, But you can't take for granted that people in your family are always going to be there. And right now, when I get home tomorrow, I'm going to hug mine, and I hope you hug yours. But thank you again. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your prayers. You came and prayed for me. I see a lot of people come up and say we're praying for you. We appreciate your prayers. Thank you all so much. And this is going to conclude this press conference. We look forward to talking to all of you tomorrow. Thank you.
I'm gonna let you go right here. I just want to thank you and your staff. Y'all did a good job. God bless you. Thank y'all very much. Thank y'all. And thank the media. Y'all did a good job. And you were so good. I apologize if I interrupted. Charge it to my heart. Charge it to my heart. I'm so
Sorry, man. It's bad luck to be back here. Hey. That's why we buy good equipment. Is yours? Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. No doubt. Hey, is this your stand? It is. Thank you very much. Oh, no, man. I'm here for you. That's my motto. Appreciate it. All right. Take it easy. Be like bulls in China shop. I don't know who's rolling, so I'm going to just be quiet. Oh, man. You know, got your
You're a lifesaver.
I just want to like, yeah, if you need help, I got you. Yeah, you got light?
Hey, y'all, did you miss me? I'm back. What did I miss? Thank you, Miguelina, for handling the stream while I was on the news. Guess what I found, though? I'm going to take a breath. I missed a weird flex on the presser. Okay, I'll go catch up with it later. Don't worry. I don't think we've got any more pressers tonight. I don't know if we'll hear from the defense attorneys. It looks like all of the news feeds have just gone back to their talking heads. So, with that, what did I bring? Oh, wait, I should take this down that I'm not back soon. I'm back now. Hold on. Now I feel too loud. Salty watermelon whiskey. I missed something. What did I miss? They dropped something. Who dropped something? Did they drop? Well, we'll be back here at 9:30. I'm astonished that was quick. Yeah, it's why I don't do a ton of news hits, because they are very, very fast. I missed a mic drop. Oh, they literally dropped a mic. Who actually dropped the mic? They took the mic away. Who actually dropped the mic? A mic was literally dropped. Thank you. All right, we're pouring this. We're going to go back and answer your questions. I can tell you what I talked about on Scripps News, but the one thing that we talked about was what a difficult position Buster Murdaugh's in. Does Buster make a statement tomorrow? And that's what I'm going to ask you in the chat. We're going to put up a poll. Do you think Buster will make an impact statement tomorrow? Those mics are real fucking expensive too. All right, salty watermelon whiskey. My kids don't have school tomorrow. Everything's great. Everything's great. Nothing is weird at all. Everything's totally fine. Emily, I have so many questions. Is this normal? Nothing is normal. Nothing in this trial has been normal. Nothing at all. So we're going to go ahead and put up a poll. I'm going to have to let my mods get out of here eventually. But nothing has been normal at all in this case. So it's just at the end of 6 weeks, we are done. Cheers. I mean, this case is nothing to celebrate, but here's what I will celebrate with you. This community, and there are still very split opinions in this community, which I completely, absolutely respect. And this community has again had this conversation with respect and compassion and dignity for those involved in this court process. And I love being a part of this community for that reason. This case started in January, it's March. I feel like I've aged 700 years, but here we are, and we're going to get sentencing tomorrow. That I find oddly satisfying. I'm like, oh my God, thank God. Thank God. Thank God we're just done tomorrow. We don't have to wait months and months for sentencing. Question, was that a really fast decision from closing to verdict? Yes, it was. It was a very fast decision. It was a very fast decision. And I wonder if this jury was annoyed with how much the prosecution was banging on because they were already decided. They weren't supposed to be. But I wonder if they were just, and this is the thing about jury interpretation. When people look at the jury and is like, oh, they're sitting like this, they're disinterested. You don't know if they're disinterested because they don't believe the prosecution, or they're disinterested because they're so far on the prosecution side that they're like, could you please stop talking? My mind is made up. I don't need to hear you say anymore. Shh, say less. It's like when you, I don't mean to be minimizing, but it's like when you just know the answer is hell yes, and you're like, say less. My husband, Emily, are we getting tacos? Shh. When do we leave? Don't tell me shh. I need to hear nothing else. Just say less. And so it's hard to interpret what people are thinking when they respond to things because you don't know. So I saw some asking what the verdict was. For those of you just coming in, it's still a pinned tweet. Alec Murdaugh has been found guilty on all counts. He will be sentenced tomorrow morning at 9:30. It is fast. And they invited the jury back to sentencing. I've never seen a judge do that. I've had jurors ask, but I've never heard the judge say, you can come back tomorrow for sentencing. I imagine a lot of them will, because they will want to see the end. Or if I'm a juror and I know this is streaming, I'm gonna go home and watch it on YouTube in my jammy jams. I'm not going in. I'm worried for Buster too, Adam. I am. I haven't seen HBO and Netflix, so I'm worried too. I've seen part of HBO, but not all of it. So I don't love all of Buster's behavior either. Humans live in the gray zone. Nothing is black and white, really. And so two things can be true at once. I don't love the way Buster talks on the jail calls. Don't at all. Don't at all. But also, he's lost everything. I can't imagine what it would be like. That you have what's being reported as a close family. We never know what goes on behind closed doors, but what's reported as a close family. And then one day it's gone. Your mom and brother are dead. Your dad's in custody and convicted of their murders. And it's done. And the walls have crashed down around him. Alrighty, let's go on. Shannon Fit Dog Mom said, thank you. Found you through Shalene Johnson and love being here. I love Shalene. She's been so incredibly kind on this entire journey of mine that we've gotten to know each other. And I'm so glad for it. She is a tremendous human being. Let's keep going. Buster will write a tell-all, but he sure might. He sure might. Southern Gothic Shakespeare. Accurate. Accurate. Absolutely accurate. I love this glass. By the way, did I show you my whiskey glass? Hold on. I don't have these listed anywhere. Don't at me. They're Corksicle. I don't know. But they have a mold so that the ice, like, the ice just takes up the side of the glass so you don't have to put a rock in it. I don't mind a little watered down whiskey. I like flavored whiskey. Look, I'm here for it. But I love these glasses. I love them so much. They're pretty. They chilled. Is that a chilled glass? Yeah, you freeze it. It comes with a little thing. You freeze it. You take the thing out. All right. I wonder if the other juror was a not guilty. The things we will never know, but it'll come up in the appeal. Maybe they'll unseal all the conversations with that other juror so we see it in the appeal. Wouldn't that be great? Why is there a sheriff deputy behind Buster? It seemed like Buster was sitting where the aisle was, but also to protect the family. This family has had sheriffs escorting them in and out of the courthouse. So for safety, I would imagine. I saw in the chat, Emily, do you like peanut butter whiskey? Yes. Do you know what I like better? Peanut butter cup whiskey. So good. Emily, now what do you have to say about the state's case? It was enough. Our love. I said at the beginning. Well, no, I said today. I think the jury can find either way on the state's case. I still wouldn't have charged this case. I would not have. That's just where I stand personally. But do I see why the jury found guilty? I absolutely do. But I've also argued closing arguments for both sides. And I can see it both ways. I really, really can. Maggie said, I was thinking about not guilt most of the time, but the more I heard the prosecution's rebuttal, the more I thought my doubt wasn't reasonable. Thank you for the super chat. Ashley said, I don't think the state proved this case beyond a reasonable doubt. How did they come to such a fast verdict? Because they didn't have any doubt. No way they reviewed all the evidence. They're not required to. They're not required to review all the evidence. They are required to render a verdict, and they need to be convinced. They need to be convinced beyond a reasonable doubt. And so if the jurors are saying, hey, I saw he lied about the kennel. He was the only one that had the motive, means, and opportunity. He was there. He lied about being there. Why would he do that? The timeline fits. Then that's where you get this result. And I completely understand why. At the end of the whole thing, I still want to hear from Eddie Smith. I still do. I still want to hear from Eddie Smith. All the news media is still interviewing people outside of the courthouse, but I want to talk to y'all and not hear what those who went and watched the verdict have to say about the verdict. I will be interested to see what those locally and the reporters locally think about the case. Stephanie said, I am shook. I think he is guilty, but they didn't spend enough time deliberating. Not for us to say. I spent way more time on a much smaller case as a juror. I'm flabbergasted. And again, one of the fastest juries I had come back, they went back and took a straw vote and it was guilty. And they're like, oh, okay. So I guess we have a verdict. CJ Elliott said, no emotions, no expression. Interesting. Guess he wasn't prepared to act today. I don't know about that, but I think stoic is really one of the ways to go, especially when you know you are on camera. I've seen very few defendants absolutely lose their shit at verdict. Very few. Most are fairly stoic. And I think you have to mentally prep for the possibility when you're on trial that you will be convicted. Austin said at EDB, yes, this is how it happens in South Carolina. Okay. Anyone else feel like Judge Newman isn't thrilled? No, I thought Judge Newman gave the same spiel he gives to every jury. And I think Judge Newman was pleased that this jury came back with a verdict. I think the last thing Judge Newman wanted is to deal with a hung jury. This jury, we've got to remember this jury was told 3 weeks and they were there for 6 and they were done. I don't know why court TV cameras panned over the jury, but anyone can walk into this courtroom and see them. Their personal information is still not out there. They went fast, and I hope that the internet does not spend too much time on it. It's why we clipped away. Drinking straight from the wine bottle. What a day. I mean, it is. Alex is a, Stacy, thank you for the super chat. Alex is a family annihilator. He annihilated every family he's ever been associated with. Maggie's family lost so much. Relationship with Buster is ruined. and his law firm, his brotherhood. His brotherhood was destroyed by him. And I know a lot of people say that the Old Boys Network was kind of destroyed by female witnesses in this case, and there's no understanding how powerful the female witnesses in this case were for me. But he did it. Alec is the one who tore it down. The women uncovered it, but he's the one that tore it down. His actions tore it down. I was talking with ABC about Girardi and about how long it went on. The thing that's kind of heartening is that, at least with the theft from clients, it seems that it was shorter than Girardi. I mean, still over a decade, but not 3 decades. I don't know. There has to be a reckoning within my profession to make sure that clients aren't stolen from like this. It was too easy for Alec to not get caught. It was too easy for Tom Girardi to not get caught. And that is the reckoning that we need to still see, and we have not seen. But I think this case and the Girardi case, not the murder case so much, but this case and the financial cases are a signal that lawyers are not above the law, especially when they steal from clients. And that is really and truly an important thing. The fact that there is a reckoning coming from lawyers that do this to their clients is a reckoning that needs to happen. There are so many great lawyers, but you can see how much damage Alec Murdaugh did aside from the murders. And you can see how much damage Tom Girardi did aside from the murders. So much pain. And I would have just gone after the financial crimes. There are so many of them. But the South Carolina Attorney General's office was sure not doing that. The juror who was dismissed said, "We are all on the same page," according to News Nation. Okay. I'm sure the juror who has dismissed has chatted, so I'm not surprised. Melanie Diane said, "Cheers, Emily. Oh my God, look at, not only do I love your profile picture, but you've got bookcases with lights. I have bookcases with lights. Melanie, we have matchy bookcases with lights." Cheers, Emily. Tito's over here, one of my favorite restaurants around here, and a delicious vodka. Do you think this opens up more cases, speculation related to his family? Is that fair? I don't think this opens up more cases, speculation related to his family. I think it already did. The verdict doesn't change that. The Satterfield family has said they don't think that her death was under suspicious circumstances, but it is an open investigation. And the Stephen Smith investigation was reopened because of evidence in this case, and that already happened, whether he's convicted or not. That had already happened. So, no. Do you think you might take your whiskey over and chat with Law and Lumber this evening? Is Law and Lumber still live? I will take a look. This was from when? This was from not that long ago. Is Rob still live? I'm sure he would invite me. I'm sure he would have me. I have to go check on my kiddos in a minute to do that. I'm sensing an appeal. Oh, there will definitely be an appeal. Do dismissed jurors get to discuss the case? Everyone can now discuss the case. Everyone can now discuss the case. Thank you for your amazing coverage, Much respect. Thank you. Thank you. Conscientiously biased. I love that name. Is Hemsworth versus Miley Flowers lawsuit real? Brooke, I've heard that it is. I'm going to pull it. It's on the top of my list. I'm ready to get back to pop culture. Murder's hard. Murder's hard. Murder's hard. And we've got a sentencing tomorrow at 9:30. Diana, I appreciate this question. Do alternative jurors hear all the testimony? Yes. So this jury box, and we saw it. Chanley Painter, hold on. Chanley Painter has a video. I'm going to show that to explain what I'm explaining, hopefully well. Jury boxes are built so that there is space for alternates as well, and they all sit together. And so let me go and pull the video real quick of from Court TV's Twitter. Give me 1 second. I need to reshare. Look, we're professionals here. I need to reshare. How many of us are there here? Like 34,000. Y'all, don't forget to go do the likey, subscribey things. If you're not subscribed, if you're chatting, I'm sure you're subscribed. But if you're not subscribed, go do the subscribey things. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go to Chanley's coverage. This is from Court TV's Twitter. Let's pop this out. Do we need audio? Yes. This is going to show you the jury box. So the alternates sit with the jurors. In some jurisdictions, the alternates don't know they're alternates until the end and they draw them from a hat. We saw in the Rittenhouse case that the judge had like a cage that he like spun, and then Kyle picked out the numbers that were going to be the alternates. In some jurisdictions like this, you hear that the alternates know that they're alternates and then get like elevated to the jury. It just depends on jurisdiction. Personal preference, don't let the alternates know that they're alternates. Yeah, that's what happened in Depp v. Heard too. They drew which ones would be alternates, and it's gutting, but then you don't know who's an alternate until they deliberate. So let us take a look at this. Do I have volume? Yes. Okay. Let's take a look at Court TV's
I'm here inside
reporting
the
with Chanley Painter,
room where the Alec Murdaugh
I firmly believe, and I'm going to have to message Chanley and ask if the dressing inspiration is from Queen Elizabeth. She is always in such good color. I wear nothing but black. I have questions. How does one just dress in all color all the time?
trial has been taking place. This is where the members of the jury have been sitting each and every day. They have
This is the jury box. You can see how many seats there are. You could see the end of the jury box where Metters was sitting. There's room for the alternates up there. So the alternates sit in the jury box.
Cushions in their chairs. They have tissues.
Those cushions
they have mints. They have
Chanley, those cushions look like they suck.
some candy in front of them.
They get candy? I think, okay, look, today when Metters grabbed a bottle of water, I think he was grabbing it from this bar here, the bar in front of the jury. I think Metters was grabbing a bottle of water off the bar. I really do.
And as you can see, they have a great view of everything unfolding in front of them. They can see the witness
I love
box,
this.
the
We get to
judge.
see it.
have
But they get
screens in
candy.
front of them where they watch up close.
Look, this court, we've seen the prosecutors drinking soda. We've seen Alec chewing Tic Tacs or whatever. But look, the jury get to do the things.
Close the evidence unfolding, and they can see the defendant himself, Alec Murdaugh.
And he can see
So
them.
when that jury panel is not inside this enormous courtroom, they actually exit
Wait,
through
it's a
this
big courtroom?
door. We're
That
gonna
courtroom
give you
looks
a
so
tour
small on
inside the
TV.
place. Follow me.
Oh, okay. The
Once
jury
through
has
the
their own
door,
entrance
down
and
the
exit.
hallway, this is the jury deliberation room. This is
I've had whiskey. Can I tell you a story? There's not that many of us here. There's only like 34,000 of us here. Can I tell you a story? The DAs and I'm absolutely included in this. The DAs and I, in multiple of the courthouses I've worked at, had text groups. And we knew which jury deliberation rooms. Emily, why are you telling this story on the internet? It's fine. There's just a few of us. We knew which jury deliberation rooms weren't being used. You know which court is not in session and which court is. Look, you can't poop in the office bathroom. You just can't. You can't. People are in there. They know you. You cannot go poop in the office bathroom. But when you're a district attorney, you work really long days, and you drink a lot of coffee. So we had a text group so we could text where you could go deliberate on a given day. We'd be like, hey, courtroom 8, deliberate. And then there would be times when you're like, hey, if anyone's looking for me, I'm deliberating in courtroom 7, I'll be back. So the jury room bathrooms are where the attorneys that work in the courthouse go to poop. They are the nicest bathrooms in the courthouse, hands down. They are always well provisioned. They always have like poopery in them. So if you want to know what it's like to work in a courthouse, you find the bathroom where you can deliberate freely and you have a courtroom. Oh no, that was just our group chat. We did not call it the poop chat, but we had to say, I'm going to deliberate. So when you need to deliberate, this is why we called it I'm going to deliberate. The jury rooms had all the stuff. They had the coffee makers. You can see it in this courtroom. Coffee creamer. They had the bathrooms with soft toilet paper. Look. In the courthouses I worked in, the public defender's office and the district attorney's office had offices with in the courthouse. We didn't work separately and then commute into the courthouse. Our office bathrooms weren't as nice as the jury room bathrooms. When they designed the courthouse, they're like, attorneys, who are they? The members of the public need to have a nice restroom. So as soon as Chanley's walking in, all I can see is that jury room bathroom. And I'm like, right, you must deliberate. So what courthouses were you in? LA proper. Misty, yes. LA, I was in LA County. Multiple courthouses in LA County. The new Long Beach courthouse, though, is kind of an exception to the rule, but you still don't want to poop in the bathroom where all your coworkers are. But the new LA courthouse has a beautiful jury room. But each courtroom has its own jury room behind it. So there's a jury room where you come in to jury duty and like check in and get organized and get your little badges on. But then once you are in jury service from the courtroom, you go back into the jury room. That's probably where they were eating lunch every day. So from now on, you can all just call it deliberating. Cheers. So that's the story that popped to mind as I'm seeing Chanley walking through the jury room that's attached to the courtroom.
This is where the jury hangs out during breaks, and this will be the war room where they deliberate the fate of Alec Murdaugh. It's a large room, conference table, chairs, snacks.
They have windows? Look at their windows. Their windows are so nice. Most of the courthouses I worked in, the jury room did not have windows at all. Look at how nice that jury room is. The palm trees outside, it's lovely.
Murdaugh. It's a large room, conference table, chairs, snacks.
Oh, snacks are key.
Box full of pens and pencils.
Justice runs on snacks.
A notepad where they could be making
And donuts.
notes as they deliberate. They also have their own coffee station, restroom, everything they need. They don't have to leave this room. And this is where it will all unfold. What decision will they make?
Well, now we know, don't
And
we?
once that jury has made their
This is
final
very
decision,
dramatic reporting, Chanley. I appreciate it, but we got to see the jury box. I'm not going to run the rest of this. This is on their Twitter. I want to see the rest of the jury box.
away from where he is at defense counsel table, prosecutors will be on
We can
edge.
see the court.
What has the jury decided? And the foreperson on this panel will have handed over.
This is the jury box. As we were talking,
Those
we got here because we were talking about how does the jury have enough room? There are 12 jurors deliberating, and now you can see that the jury box has room for so many more. So,
forms.
All right.
We will learn the fate of Alec Murdaugh here inside this.
Thank you, Chanley. All right, we got to see the jury box. We got to talk about deliberations. There's more than one kind. Now you know all of my innermost secrets. And let us continue on. Let us continue on. Thank you, Chanley. Yeah, it is a great dress color on her. Chanley is always in the best clothes. I would love to interview Chanley for the podcast. I should probably tell her that, like, directly. But one of the things I need to ask is, how do you even prepare to do a 6-week trial? Like, how do you even know? Mustang Mickey in the chat said, question, Emily, please, how do you think Poot and Jim are feeling? I think Jim is gutted. This is his friend. Like, you could see how hard it was for Jim to do the direct examination of Alec. You could see how hard this has been for him. I think Jim is absolutely gutted, but they had to know this was a real possibility. They had to. I will ask, look, I don't know if Chanley's able to do that based on her contract with Court TV, but I will ask. I will absolutely ask. Casey said we started with an 8-to-4 female to male jury and ended with 7-to-5 female, male to female ratio. That's what's blowing my mind. It didn't shift much. Alternates. I didn't know a verdict could come in this late. Each court has their own way of doing things. And a lot of the cases we've covered, they allow the jury to deliberate into the night if they want to. And this was a jury that was like, let's be done. Look, I scratched my neck. Do you see? I am so pale. I scratched my neck. And there we are, as red can be. Raichu, I wanted to say Raichu, but it's not Raichu. I can't imagine the amount of healing that the community is going to need, jurors included. He was so entangled with so many people and places. Yes, it is. Just saw the news. That jury sure didn't deliberate that long. They sure didn't. David said, now that he's been found guilty and has a life sentence coming, why even prosecute the financial crimes? Because of appeals. And he admitted to most of them on the stand, so it's pretty easy to prosecute them now. So I think they should probably resolve those. We'll see how they resolve those. Those should probably resolve. It's said in that Alec took Buster's family from him. Yeah, he did. Can the judge order AM's commissary account attached for reparations? We will see what they order in the way of restitution. I don't know what they will order in the way of restitution, but we will see. The thing is, if his family is the one that's ordered restitution and they're the ones giving commissary, I don't think Buster is going to ask for restitution. The only restitution in this case would go to Buster or the estate of Maggie. So I just don't know. Beth said, thank you for being a great coworker. Been watching since Deputy Heard. Very informative, easy to understand. I try to make it easy and sometimes entertaining. I thought Justice runs on Subway and Cheetos. It does. And, well, Cheetos count as snacks, but Justice definitely runs on Subway and Cheetos. Though there was a period of time where Justice very clearly ran on Butterfingers because one of my coworkers' mom worked at the Nestle factory. And so she would bring in like the Imperfects. Leanne asked, question, he will be, I'm not reading it out loud because YouTube gets picky, particularly with that. He will be, as a matter of course, not based on anything he said or done or whatever. Shelley said, did you know Tom Girardi? No, but I have friends and acquaintances that law clerked at Girardi Case. Through friends of friends, but no, I don't know Tom. I know people that know Tom, but I did not know Tom, which is fine with me. I was never interested in plaintiff's work. When I went to law school, I wanted to become a district attorney. It was the trajectory. Nikki said, I cried hearing Rogan's testimony. It was heartbroken. I was close to crying when you redid the closing for Jim. Had you did that closing, I would have had to question more. I was for guilt once he took the stand. Thank you. You're welcome. This was a very hard case for Jim. I think they've gone a long way in their case to make sure that they preserved issues for appeal. I think Alec taking the stand is the thing that made it easier for the jury to convict him. I don't know if they could have convicted him without him taking the stand. But once he took the stand, I think all bets are off. And though they're going to argue that the judge let in too much 404 and what have you, I don't know. Let's see. Judge Newman's son died 2 weeks before the trial. I remember that. And he was stoic and unbiased. Judge Newman is a commensurate professional. I know there's others that don't agree with Judge Newman and come for me because I do. I don't care. I thought Judge Newman was exactly what you want to see in a judge. He was unwavering. I thought he was consistent. I didn't agree with every one of his rulings. Others didn't agree with every one of his rulings. You're never going to agree with every single one of a judge's rulings. I didn't agree with all of Judge A's rulings, but I liked Judge A as a jurist and I liked Judge Newman as a jurist. I thought that he exemplified what you want in a judge. He's patient. He's mindful of the jurors. He listened to all of the arguments of the attorneys and he made clear. So yeah, his son, his 40-year-old son passed of a heart attack right before the trial. It really, the fact that he is able to sit there and go through this type of a case with that happening it just showed, well, for better or for worse, it shows you how lawyers are able to detach their personal lives and their work lives. It took me a long time to undo that knot. Jacqueline said, question, why did the media show the entire jury when Alex was taken into custody? I don't know. Their identity is not secret. Anyone can walk into the courtroom any day and see the jurors. It's a public courtroom. Their names are kept off and their faces are kept off of TV. It should have been kept off of TV. And I don't know why they panned past it. They've been so good this whole trial. Judy said, and here I thought your deck mark was, no, it's me. My skin is just, I'm so fucking pale. My skin is highly, highly reactive. So highly reactive. Juniper said, thank you for your coverage. You're welcome. Off topic. Will you be covering the Club Q case? I haven't followed the progress of it. I will take a look. Is it really going to go to trial? I can't imagine that it is. They disarmed him. It's clear who it was. I don't know. I don't know. I will take a look. Frankie's mom said, I thought we had time and was driving home from the vet with my mouth open. What are we to fill our days with now? Well, sentencing tomorrow, and then we'll take the weekend off and figure it out from there. And I'll be back Tuesday with coffee and cursey words. Does Buster get those guns back? I can't imagine Buster even wants those guns back. Would you? Could Buster make a motion to get the guns back? Yes. He could. He could make a motion to get the guns back. Would you? Would you? Rachel Ortega said they don't have poop spray. Jury bathrooms often have poop spray. They often have poopery or some other type of poop spray. You know why? Because the court staff uses them too. It's not just the attorneys. Michelle said, thanks EDB for everything you do. Drinking honey Jack here. Ooh, yum. Here in the Nations. I can't wait to talk about Jack. I'm going to put those up tomorrow so we were supposed to be able to do connect the dots while we were waiting for a verdict and we didn't have time. So we're going to have to connect the dots over the weekend and talk about that on Monday. Can the jury discuss this case with each other on breaks? No. The jury can't discuss the case until the judge says, now you can discuss the case after everything is done. They can't. Nurse Katie, have you ever felt bad for a defendant after you won a case? I couldn't do it. Even though I don't think he was innocent, I wish they deliberated more. There were some defendants I felt for tremendously, and the cases were heartbreaking all the way around. My entire time in juvenile felt that way. I'm not going to talk about it tonight. It's too much. There were a lot of cases that I did that did not go to trial because I tried to resolve it based on how I felt about the defendants. With most of my trial cases, I felt like justice was done. With some of my trial cases, I knew that justice was done and was heartbroken that that's the situation. It was one of those cases where you're just like, I understand how we all got here, but fuck, man. We can't do that. It's just, it's hard. It's heavy. Didn't feel like celebrating most of them. There were one or two where I was like, the victims deserve this so much. They deserve to be affirmed. And in those cases, that's about as close as you get to feeling celebratory. It's the victims deserve to be affirmed. And this was a hard case. And they were told that they were believed. Different in a murder case when you don't hear from the victims. So different, but that's heavy. Connie, thank you. Your enthusiasm and time shared with us is greatly appreciated. I love being with y'all too. I love streaming. I often feel like I miss my calling as a gaming streamer because it seems a lot easier than doing this, but I love doing this. I love streaming. Kim said, what would happen if new evidence would come to light showing his innocence? The district attorney generals would be obligated to bring that forward. And they can make motions to vacate a verdict if that happens and should. It's very rare. It can happen. Is this or any case for that matter? How would that work? So hopefully I answered it well. Thank you for the story time. Now you all know way more about attorney pooping habits than you ever need to know before. That corksicle is in your Amazon. Oh, good. Shanus, I listed it. Look at me. Look at me doing the things like I'm supposed to do so that my team doesn't get 100 emails asking. I did the thing. Emily, Rob said you've received a link. Okay. I think we need to finish up super chats. I'll go over and say hi to Rob. I feel like we need to go cheer Rob up. Chat. How many of us are left? 30,000. Oh God, we'll break Rob's chat. In honor of your classic explanation, Elaine. I still think Delane is the best name. We're going to have to vote tomorrow. Are you going to watch the Sarah Boone trial? I don't know. Has the defense made a statement? Oh, you asked about that. Hold on. Maybe to CNN. I'm going to go look. I think a lot of people are going to try to sell shirts that say, don't trust your soul to no backwoods Southern lawyer. Just the lawyer in me is going to say, just as a note, song lyrics are often copyrighted. So don't get too crazy with that. Let's see. I think I saw that there was a statement. Hold on. Emily, are we going to watch the Brian Koberger things? Yes. If the preliminary hearing is streamed in June, we are absolutely going to watch that. It'll probably take about a week. So let me go see. I'm hearing in my ear. No, I'm just kidding. That the defense talked to CNN. So I'm going to go look real quick and see if that's there. No, I don't see it. So I'll go look later. You guys, I like that you guys are ready to party hop. You guys are like, let's go. Give me one. Let me finish up a few super chats and then we will go. What time is it? It's 8 o'clock. I just need to go check on my kiddo first and then we'll go do that. I redirected the stream. Oh, we redirected the stream to Law and Lumber stream. He's going to be thrilled. Question, Sarah, this is a great question. What is the 404? The prior bad acts evidence. I'm sorry that I defaulted into that. Apologies. Rob's channel is Law and Lumber. We'll just go over there. We're going to break Rob's brain. That's fantastic. I love doing that. The prior bad acts evidence. I'm not leaving yet. Don't worry. The prior bad acts evidence, the financial crimes, the roadside, that is the 404. That type of evidence, prior bad acts, because you don't want the jury to convict him because he's a bad dude. You can't convict someone. You're like, well, look at all this shit they've done. They probably murdered too. Like they did all that other shit. They're probably a murderer. That's not okay. So there is a balancing act. And that is one of the things that appellate courts get real picky about. So, let's see. Why didn't Alec turn to at least say, I love you to Buster as he was being let off? I don't know. I really wanted to see the prosecution argue that Alec only gave a shit about Alec way fucking sooner in this case than Metters. We didn't even hear it until Metters. What the fuck, man? That is more impactful than this convoluted argument. Like, argue Alec only cared about Alec, I don't know, at the beginning. But I think Alec showed it by testifying. Club Q is going to trial in May, and I got a summons. Oh, I don't know if it's for it, but there's a chance. Okay, Juniper. Well, if you do get summoned for a juror and you are on the jury, do not watch anything on the TVs until you are done. And then you are welcome to reach out to me if you would like to talk about your experience. I didn't expect to feel sad, Lay Infant said. Emotional hangover. I think hearing the verdict made it real. He not only killed his wife, but also his own child. And it does feel heavy and sad. Are the people Alex stole from getting reimbursed? Barb West, the law firm is reimbursing the clients out of their own pockets. This girl says, what? I was in replay crew when verdict came in and only just saw. I'm shook. So happy Maggie, Paul, and Bubba got justice. Thanks, Emily. You're welcome. Beverly Bilberry's missing teeth. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I still love it. All of it. I would like to say thank you for not disparaging our community and the people in it. You caught onto our colloquialisms quickly. I popped into others who are speaking on the poverty in our 8th grade education level. First of all, demeaning people because of their level of education is ridiculous. Because not everyone has the same and equal opportunity for education, and no one knows anyone else's life circumstance. And in a different circumstance, without the parents I had, do I know if I would have finished school with my learning disabilities? Probably not. So I will never, ever. Also, not being kind just because people live in circumstances that one can't imagine is ridiculous to me. So no, the people of South Carolina deserve respect. All people deserve respect. And that's a tenet here on this channel, even when it's hard. It's hard not to disparage, say, James Spears. I find it difficult too. There are times it is hard not to name call people that we don't like. But we can express ourselves and have conversations in elevated ways. We come from such diverse backgrounds. Everyone deserves respect. So thank you for sharing that with us, Beverly. I'm sorry that that's not the same across the internet, but I also understand that that's not the same across the internet. It's why we have the mods that we have. It's why we have the rules that we have. And it's why we have this amazing Law Nerd community to enforce them. So when people come in and say stupid shit and they're just like this and this and that, it's not for them. We have good conversations because this community is an empathetic community that treats people with respect. Even Alec Murdaugh, he's been convicted of murdering his wife and son. He's also an addict. He's also still a father to a remaining kid. What does name calling him do? He's a, what more? What more? You know, what does name calling do? It's sad. And I think that it's sad. So I'm sorry that that's the experience, but it's the same in all of the cases. Look, in Waukesha, there were people talking about the Waukesha community too. And I truly don't understand why. I found there were things in this trial I found baffling. Creighton crawling on the floor for one, but not the people in the community. This jury showed tremendous respect and dedication to the process, and they deserve tremendous respect in return. Their community has been through it. But I've also been in a community that's been through it in the wake of a murder, unfortunately. So I just come from that. I come from that perspective. And I see you in the chat. I know I'm keeping a watch on my weather. Don't worry. I mean, normally I don't drink when we have spinny weather coming our way, but I trust Dr. B. So it'll be fine. Love you so much. Love the Law Nerds. Me too. And I love the appreciation for the Law Nerd community. Thank you. This community is why I do this. I also really like to talk. I mean, that's fair. Don't know if it's already been said. Buster had no emotion at the verdict. He looked numb. I think he probably is numb. And I very much hope he has a therapist that he loves. EDB, thank you for all you do. You're welcome. That's what the Law Nerd community is here for. I'm going to go to a few more questions and then we will jump over. I know I have a link to Rob's stream. I got to go check on the kiddos first. Jess Lynn, question, cheers. What are your feelings on how the appeal will go in this case? It's so early, but off topic, but will the Idaho murders also be live streamed? We're hearing that they might be delayed, but they will be streamed and I will cover them. How an appeal would go, I need to see it. We just need to see it. So, and I will cover it as we see it. We've got still Depp Heard appeal stuff, not appeal stuff, Depp Heard, Heard insurance stuff to still cover. I mean, there's so much happening. Katie K said, thanks for the coverage. I'm usually replay crew. Haven't seen Meddar's final closing. Go watch it. I hope he mentioned Paul the Little Detective. He did. Not in so many words, but he did. With that, do you know, Rob, so you two can dual sync so two lives together? I don't know how to dual sync, but I'm going to go jump on his channel real quick. So with all of that, Law Nerds, we have been streaming for like 2 hours. There are verdicts. Had no idea whether here in Nashville was so bad. It has its moments. They're normally brief, but yes, we have dynamic weather. It keeps you on your toes. Look, I'm ADHD. I love it when it changes. I'm here for it. So, wow, just heard on CBS. What was the verdict? Guilty on all counts. So for all of you just popping in, I am going to go. This stream is going to redirect. I don't know how to dual sync. I'll figure it out with the mods. I am going to go off of this live. I will see you soon. I'm going to go check on the kiddos and hop over there. How many notebooks did you go through? The real questions, 3. This one, let's see. This is my last notebook. This is how much is left in my last notebook. This is the end. This is my 3rd notebook. Almost 3 full notebooks. But they're this sized. So that's where we're at. All right. I will see you back here at 9:30 in the morning for sentencing. When does that ever happen? When does that ever happen? 9:30 a.m. for sentencing. I need to let our mods go to bed. Our mods have been amazing. Huge thank you to the mods. Y'all are the best. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate this community. Cheers. Cheers. It's time to go. It is time to go. I'll see you in the morning. You can find all the Law Nerd goodies at lawnerdshops.com. Connect with me on social media at the Emily D. Baker. And don't forget to check out my podcasts, The Emily Show, and the new podcast, Quick Bits, summarizing everything I talk about on my Tuesday and Thursday live streams. You know, when you only have time for just the quick bits.